When curiosity hits you and you begin to wonder and try to understand what is blindness like and what did society teach you that blindness was like? And many people think that once you are blind, there's only one thing, and that is pure and utter darkness. There is nothing you can see, and you are not aware of your surroundings or is what is going on around you. And others think that the brain slows down and you are unable to comprehend what people are saying. But blindness is not complete darkness, and blindness is a spectrum, and there's many layers to blindness. And this video is to bring understanding that blindness is not what people want you to think. Blindness may be a disability, but blindness is not awkward or weird, but a state of being that needs to be understood and accepted, and finally knowing what the truth really is. So many people think blind people are glasses wearing, cane holding, guide dog walking, uncoordinated people, and always need help from someone. But that is not true. Many blind people don't use a cane. Many blind people are ashamed sometimes of letting other people know that they're blind, so they don't use any tools. I mean, there could be a blind person walking next to you. You don't even know that. Others, however, do fit the stereotype. Many people have a guide dog, many people have a cane. To me, and it's personal, I like the word visually impaired. It is frustrating to explain how I see the world and how I view the world. Only because someone is blind doesn't mean they're uncoordinated, doesn't mean their brain slows down. They are still the same person. Take a moment, close your eyes, and just look within yourself. Do you feel any different? Do you feel like just because you have your eyes closed, you've changed? And the response would be no, you're still the same person you were as when your eyes were opened. And that's when a lot of people lose their friends because they went blind. People just start disappearing because they feel like it's awkward. Like, I don't want to be someone that hangs out with a blind person. And that's embarrassing, especially if you're younger and you're like, I care about my image and I care about what people think. And if they see me with a blind person, I don't know. They're not going to want to talk to me. Well, I had this friend and they went blind, and all of a sudden they lost everyone. They lost their friends they had for a long time. And all of a sudden, boom, they gained their vision back. People just started hanging out with him. Like, that shouldn't deter you from hanging out. Those people should have just stayed with him when he was going through the hardest time of his life, which was losing his vision. And when I mean losing your vision, because many people think, okay, blindness, losing your vision, but in reality, blindness is not just darkness. And you're still aware of everything. And that's why I don't consider it blindness, because you know where you're at, you know your surroundings, and your senses are still working even though your eyes don't see. You know what people are saying, you know where you're standing, and you know what your goals are and what your dreams are. You're not blind to the world, only your visual perception of the world is gone. Many people want to fix blindness and feel like they need to fix people and feel like there should be a cure. And I'm grateful for the people that are actually working for a cure, and I'm grateful for the people that are trying hard to help their kids or help whoever they want to help. But blindness and or any disability is not something that should be taken out of the equation. Yes, it's better to be healthy and able, and everyone should be the same, but where's the uniqueness in people? People spend millions of dollars on things that are insignificant, things that are not even necessary in this world, when you could be building something to help everyone else. And that's where it kind of makes me frustrated to think that many people don't really want to accommodate people with disabilities. If everything was accessible, there wouldn't be nothing that would frustrate people with disabilities. Being blind is just a state of being. We don't think about it day to day. Like, people think, oh my gosh, it must be so hard waking up in the morning. What do you think about not being able to see, and how do you face life, and how do you endure life? And I don't think about all these difficult things that I'm going to encounter every single day. I don't think about the challenges that I'm going to face, if it's going to be accessible, if it's not going to be accessible. I don't think about that obviously until it happens. And when it happens, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is hard. Like, and society always thinks, okay, blindness is genetic, it's a disease, it's something that happens during birth, an accident. Yes, it's something, it's not just a disease, it's something that all of a sudden could happen to anybody at any moment. You get hit in the head, you get shot, and many people aren't aware and always want to know, how did you go blind? And that's like the first things they ask. And that's why I always say, never just ask someone how you went blind. Like, you are barely getting to know myself, and you want to know all this big part of me that I'm not ready to share yet, because it could be a traumatic experience and people just want to know. And if you're born with it, like me, it's not traumatic, but you just never know. Get to know the person, talk to the person. And the word blindness is not something you should avoid from to teach your child. Don't avoid that question. Little kids want to know what is going on and why are people not able to see, and they're exploring the world and getting to understand it. And when you say, I don't know what's happening, kids start becoming awkward about it. They don't want to ask later because they probably remember when their parent was like, I don't know what happened. Don't ask me what happened. And then they don't have the knowledge, and now you get all these kids in the internet and they're asking everyone, oh, how do you text, how do you use a computer, how do you do this, how do you do that, because they don't understand, because no one teaches them this. And that's the problem. And then we are a minority. I mean, there's not a lot of blind people just walking around everywhere. They're mostly, a lot of blind people are mostly in the cities or more accessible towns. But if you're in a small little town, it's rare you'll see a blind person walking around. Why? Because nothing is accessible. If you still think that blindness is difficult and hard, and you think that it's something that is bad or wrong, let me tell you something. Blindness is a teacher. I feel like I've learned double the lessons or triple the lessons in my years of living, and it's pretty not that many. And it's true. You learn so many things. You learn how to let go because you can't see all the things that are coming at you. You don't know who's going to steal something from you. You don't know what's in front of you or any of that stuff at some times, or who you're hanging out with, or what kind of person is coming your way. But you have to just accept it and let go. Accepting and letting go is a lesson that I'm currently needing to learn, because I can't live my life in fear, and I can't live my life as if I'm helpless, because then I'm going to stop myself from moving forward, from learning. I don't care what happens when I go out into the world until it happens to me. And oh my God, I can't believe you're saying this. Like, what if something does happen to you? And then what? You're not going to say the same thing to everyone. You don't have control of everything. You can't control what's going to happen in your life. You can't control the outcome of your life. You're more of a passenger in your life. You are not driving, you are moving along life, and you are making it happen. But there are many components to life that are either working with you, and if you, the more you push against them, they're gonna work against you. The next lesson is just forgiveness, because forgiving is very important. I've run into many people in my life that were very mean and very hurtful. Once you know that maybe someone is having a bad day and they don't mean to hurt you and they don't mean to say what they said, you'll understand more as to why they do things. Like, sometimes we don't think about it. We just say, man, that person was being a little today, but you know what? You have to let it go and move on, because if you don't, you're just going to carry it with you and always have this memory of this person and not let it go. And every time you see them, it triggers you and you hate them even more. And it just creates this pattern, and you keep repeating it with the next person you meet. So that's the point that I was trying to make, that blindness is more of a teach. Many people think that blindness is a weakness, and that's where you're wrong. Blindness is not a weakness, but a strength, because you know what? Because we can work our way around any problem and figure out a solution for that problem, whether it's at a job or whether it's trying to figure out how we're going to get things done in a new and innovative way. We always have that ability to adapt to any situation quickly. It's not like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't know what's going to happen. You got to think on your feet, but also the media has portrayed people as weak and helpless. And many blind people have thought, okay, I have to depend on different people to get around or get things done. And it's okay to depend on people to get things done, but not depend on them completely, because what if that person's gone and what if that person leaves? You have to be prepared to know what to do in those certain situations, and you have to know that you are able and independent to get around and find your way, whether it's with a person or not with a person, and have that confidence to get out there and do things on your own. Get out there and get a coffee, get out there and go get a haircut, get out there and just take care of yourself. Now that I'm talking about taking care of yourself, I'm going to talk about self care. Many people think that blind people don't take care of themselves. They just wear whatever, their hair's all messy, they don't wear makeup. Self care is really important because when you look good and when all put together, you feel confident. That's how I feel. If I look good and I look put together, I feel more confident than whereas when I'm wearing pajamas all day, I feel like I have this feeling of laziness, or I got to figure out my own life and my own goals and what I want to do. And the only way that I will figure that out without stressing about everything is to just live in the moment. And it's always necessary to be curious, and it's always necessary to have an open mind and really care about other people, even if they are different from you. Give them a chance, and you'll be surprised what different people can bring to the table. Start thinking of blindness being a blessing, not a curse, not something you should fear, not something that you should avoid, not something that should be ignored, and not something that should be looked down upon, because as I said, we're equals and we're all the same. And once you realize that, people would get along better. Because someone's blind, that doesn't mean they don't have a vision of the world they want to create later on in the future. So with that, thank you for watching. And if you liked my video, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because it helps me with the algorithm, and I'll see you next time.